it a certain way and you do it your way and then mess up, I don't want to clean it up. Because that was your fuck up, not mine.
I was feeling that Jake Paul was going to knock out Tank. This press conference made me feel a little bit more confident about Tank. I'm no cap.
He done a lot in his career, right? Not everything, but he done a lot. What people don't understand is his business.
Floyd Mayweather just broke his silence. And what he said about Gervonta Davis risking everything for a fight with Jake Paul has the boxing world stunned. Floyd Mayweather broke down the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis matchup, explaining that Davis is making his own choices. And with that comes risk. Floyd admitted he's given Davis advice before, but if it's ignored, then it's no longer his concern. Still, Mayweather believes the fight will draw massive attention to the sport. The money's great, the hype is real, Floyd said. I'll definitely be watching.
Within my company, within my team. Do it my way. Because if you mess up, I don't mind being a janitor to clean up the mess because I told you to do it a certain way. But if I tell you to do it a certain way and you do it your way and then mess up, I don't want to clean it up. Because that was your fuck up, not mine.
The boxing world is on fire over the upcoming clash between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. Fans and analysts are completely divided. Some call it a smart move and a business masterstroke, while others say it's nothing more than a circus act. Supporters argue that the fight could expand Tank's brand beyond hardcore boxing fans, while critics believe it dilutes the sport's integrity. The debate rages on as insiders, fighters, and promoters all weigh in, some defending Tank's bold choice, others questioning where boxing is headed.
And number 3, the retirement.
I mean, the backlash is just what people do nowadays. That's just, you give somebody a keyboard, you give them a phone, and they able to hide their face. Yeah, they're gonna have a field day. The backlash I get, I understand. What'd you say, number 2, not fight Shakur?
Yeah, he's saying he'll never fight Shakur, that he ain't gonna do him no favors, that he ain't gonna help him make no money because Shakur broke or something like that. Something along those lines.
Yeah, I don't get all that. That's, you know what I mean? That's against the game. Like, you know what I mean? You at least owe that fight for the game. You know what I mean? You owe the rematch to Lamont for the game. But you owe Shakur for the game just because of the 2 style matchups. You know what I mean? But if he feel like he don't gotta fight him, guess what? We can't sit here and just go crazy about it. But it is.
Trainer Greg Hackett voiced his frustration over the heavy criticism directed at Gervonta Davis. He argued that fighters today get attacked for almost everything they do, often by people who have no idea what goes on behind the scenes. Hackett said, if Davis decides to fight Jake Paul, that's his call. No one outside the ring understands what a fighter's dealing with. He emphasized that fans should stop dictating who fighters should face and start appreciating the discipline it takes to stay at the top. His comments reflect a broader frustration shared by many trainers, that social media has turned boxing debates into non-stop noise.
He done a lot in his career, right? Not everything, but he done a lot. What people don't understand is his business is a lot. This whole experience is a lot. The shit these fighters go through is hard to explain. It's hard to explain because people, they can't see it, so they can't understand it. But it's stressful to the fighters because they coming from just getting ready to fight in the amateurs, being prepared, going out there, win, get it done, celebrate. All right, we back to the next camp. To now, marketing. You're talking about marketing. You're talking about lawyers. You're talking about all this shit that you just never imagined. You like, why do I have to deal with all of this shit? People trying to keep money coming in, so they trying to come up with bright ideas. At the same time, you got a lot of people trying to get shit from you.
Sports analyst Max Kellerman has found himself in the middle of controversy after repeatedly downplaying Gervonta Davis's achievements. Kellerman suggested that Tank had never been a true champion or proven himself at the highest level. Many boxing experts quickly fired back, accusing Kellerman of bias and ignoring Davis's impressive record and knockout power. Critics say this exposes a deeper issue: the boxing media's tendency to undervalue younger stars while pushing narratives that favor established names. The discussion highlights a growing divide between old-school analysts and the new generation of fighters reshaping the sport.
Max Kellerman is full of nonsense. Max Kellerman claims that Gervonta Davis was never a champion, that we've never been a period of time when we looked at Gervonta Davis and said Gervonta Davis is the man in that weight class. Bunch of other ridiculousness pouring out of the pie hole of Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman is one of the most biased, bought and paid for journalists that there is in the sport of boxing, and to have him back talking again on and giving his opinion again about the sport of boxing, I promise you is not a good thing. But let's analyze what he had to say about Gervonta, that Gervonta was not ever a champion. That is ridiculous because Gervonta Davis was a champion for the IBF at 130. He was a WBA super champion at 130. He is currently the reigning WBA champion at 135, and there is no other champion in the division for the WBA at the moment. He is the only WBA champion that there is at 135. He had a portion of a secondary. The title at the time he won it at 140 was a secondary title. So if you do not want to count that, I don't know why you wouldn't, seeing as everybody else counts that belt. But okay, fine. He's a 2-division world champion. That is more than zero, Max Kellerman. Now, looking at the idea that Gervonta Davis has never been the man in that division is absolutely ridiculous because Gervonta Davis has really been the man in that division the entire time that he's
the world champion. Paulie Malignaggi didn't hold back when talking about the Davis versus Jake Paul fight. He slammed the matchup as proof that boxing is losing its authenticity. According to him, knockouts only mean something when they happen between real, evenly matched fighters. Malignaggi warned that such manufactured fights mislead fans into thinking they're watching true competition. In a talk with Chris Algieri, he said casual viewers might enjoy it, but real boxing fans know better. He believes social media fighters sharing the same spotlight. As world champions blurs the line between entertainment and real sport, a problem boxing must face before it loses its soul.
Knockouts. People like knockouts. They don't care if you're knocking out cab drivers. Look at Jake Paul's career.
You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture knockouts.
You can't manufacture.
To a
Gervonta
degree,
Davis.
you can. To a degree. I mean, you can't. Yeah, Gervonta legitimately cannot get knockouts. I agree. He can punch, but there's a lot of limited knockout artists though, man.
He's one of the least active punchers in the game with the highest knockout percentage of current heavyweight.
But if he was a real knockout artist,
current champions.
If he was a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best of the best. Felix Trinidad was a knockout artist. He was knocking out the best of the best. If you're a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best and show us how he smokes them. But the way
Paulie,
we did when Felix Trinidad was doing it. You know, the way they did it when Mike Tyson was doing it in his prime. Say what you want about the Mike Tyson era. He knocked out everyone from 1986 to 1989. Everyone got knocked out. Everyone.
Well, by your standard, you could say that Tyson was to a degree manufactured.
No, because he fought everyone that was there. Everyone that was there at that time he fought.
Teddy Ellis will 100% agree with this.
With the expense
of
Witherspoon.
That were afraid of him.
With the exception of Witherspoon. No, but they all, doesn't matter. He knocked them all out. There was nobody you could say in that era except maybe Witherspoon, who had contract issues with King at the time. Except for Witherspoon, there is nobody Tyson didn't fight in that era. He knocked them all out. You can't say like, oh, but if he would have fought that guy, I don't know. No, with Davis, there's guys right now that have been hanging around for years. Yo, dude, when are you going to fight them? The lightweight division was stacked with talent. Even at 130, it had a lot of talent when he was there. Didn't fight almost any of them. So it's not the same thing as the Tyson era. You want to say anything about Tyson era? Fine. It wasn't as high level or something. He still knocked out
On the other hand, commentator Showbiz the Adult took a more positive stance after watching the press conference. He admitted that at first he doubted Gervonta's chances due to Jake's size advantage. But that changed quickly. Showbiz said Davis looked focused, sharp, and completely unfazed. He carried himself like a pro who knows exactly what's at stake. He believes Davis's composure, fight IQ, and technical mastery could allow him to adapt and overcome Jake's physical power. In his words, this fight might surprise a lot of people who think Tank is too small. Don't underestimate skill over size.
Beat the hell out this kid. Listen, I was feeling that Jake Paul was going to knock out Tank. This press conference made me feel a little bit more confident about Tank. I'm no cap. I know Tank wasn't saying much, fumbling over his words, seems bashful, but I'm looking, right? And I'm just like, bro, he doesn't feel that Jake Paul is an issue. Even though he said it, he doesn't feel like he has to whoop his ass. He doesn't feel threatened. That's the word. He doesn't feel threatened, but he does feel out of his element. I'm gonna be honest, man. It sounds like, I know everybody's looking at this press conference and it's like, number one, I know what y'all saying. It's a clown show. It's not real. Tank was paid off. It's fake. Cause Tank, when he was talking about Jake and JV, even I was like, what is he talking about?
He laughing.
What are you talking about?
What
does he have to do with this?
Let anything, you know what I'm talking about. Let anything. No, I don't have to say it right now. Don't worry about it. I don't got to say it up here. Let anything happen. And I'm going to show you and him.
So that I could understand if that's your concern. I am being extremely truthful with how I feel about this and how I'm reacting to this. My oldest son was like, I see the same thing, Dad, but you're going to get a weird response to your take.
Floyd Mayweather's name has surfaced again, this time not as a promoter, but as a potential competitor. Reports suggest that Floyd is pursuing a fight with Mike Tyson, and analysts believe it's more than a cash grab. Insiders say Floyd's move reflects his desire to remain the center of attention, even as new stars like Davis and Jake Paul dominate headlines. This could be classic Floyd, always competing, always chasing legacy. As the boxing world prepares for Davis versus Paul, Mayweather's rumored comeback fight adds a new layer to the story, a reminder that in boxing, relevance and legacy are battles that never end.